Welcome to another episode of the Birdie Golf Club podcast. And this week, it's a real pleasure to welcome Rohan Miah, who is currently playing on the Clutch Pro Tour. I think I've got that right, Rohan, yeah? And he's just gonna, we're gonna get to know Rohan, understand what it's like playing on the Clutch Pro Tour, just really trying to make it in the world of golf, essentially, as a professional golfer. So Rohan, thank you very much for joining me. I know you've just said you've just got back from practice,
No,
getting ready for next week event. So
yeah,
how's it
yeah.
going?
It's going good. Yeah, I've just come off a couple of events. Played at St Mellion last week, and the week before that was at Haythrop Park.
Hmm.
All clutch events just at the start of the year. So played good, had some solid good first rounds. 66, 70, the better numbers, and then
Yeah,
had a few flat kind of second and third rounds, made the cuts and stuff like that, but just need to keep moving forward and sharpen up certain parts of my game just to keep pushing and not have that kind of stagnant around level par or even over par.
yeah.
Just to keep pushing forward and really start climbing up that leaderboard for the events coming up this week and even midway through the summer, really. So, yeah, just practicing and doing what I can on the weekends because a lot of the clutch stuff is Monday to Thursday. So
Yep.
have a day off after the Thursday, and then back grinding again on the weekend, and start again at the beginning of the week. So yeah.
Because a lot of people would look at the schedule and it looks hectic, but when you're considering what you're playing for,
Mhm.
it's actually quite a finite amount of events, really, isn't it? It's not a huge amount of time to one prepare and to two obviously make a statement to get your sort of going into your challenge tour cards, some DP World Tour event starts and things like that. So the pressure cooker of that situation, how are you finding that experience?
I'm really enjoying it. I like I say, so I've been playing golf for a long time,
Mhm.
but just turned pro at the end of last year, so it's new for me. It's my first full season because a lot of the amateur stuff kind of start in April, finish in September, and you're done type thing. So there is no kind of international series and stuff, but I'm really enjoying it. It's nice to kind of just have everyone around me and my team and stuff, whether it's my physio or golf coach or whatever it is, kind of join with them on the weekends and sort of go through what I need to go through the paces. And then during the week, kind of go out there and, put on a show and do what I can and just move forward. And, I'm not gonna lie, it's very tough. There's a
Mm.
lot of good players. Like I say, I could say I'm more of the inexperienced one when it
Mhm.
comes to the pro golf because I just turned pro. Definitely one of the younger ones too. A lot of the lads are in their late 20s, but none of that really matters when you get to that. I don't think it's all just about just trying to play good and all the best guys I've noticed already, which I'm trying to strive to achieve as well as even surpass. I guess you could say is just everyone can play good golf. You can
Yeah.
just need to minimize the mistakes, and you're not going to be that far off. So, but yeah, when it comes to playing week in week out, like I say, I've had two events now in the UK. I've had a couple foreign ones too, or in March and April, which was good. I've really enjoyed it. It's been good. I mean, January, February is a busy month for us to try and prep and prepare.
Hmm.
But it's nice it's finally coming into action, because sometimes you have you're practicing and 5, 6 times a week and you're training in the gym and all that sort of stuff. But you feel like there's no events till, I mean, gone March, and you think, oh, it's pretty tough. But now it's actually rolling on. It feels like, right, this is what I did well. This is what I need to work on, have a couple of days of that and start again. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's a
Feels like
rhythm.
you
It's a rhythm.
feels like you've done all the work when people weren't looking, and now you're ready when people are. That's the idea behind it, right? In those January, February months sort of times.
Definitely, yeah, because it's easy to get very, demotivated to play or practice, especially when the conditions aren't the best. And
What, here in the UK? No way.
yeah, I know it's the best one of them all, No, but no, I try and get away. Try and follow the sun as much as I can. But for most of us, even a few weeks here and there, it's not easy to practice. But
Yeah,
like I say, it's nice now that the weather is better and we are playing these events and we are in the middle of the season to go, do you know what? We are playing and moving forward. It's kind of this is what I was here to do. I wasn't here to practice on the range for 2, 3 hours a day and do other things in the horrible weather and do nothing with it. So it's nice
yeah.
that it's coming around full circle now and actually in the season. So it's
That
been good
sounds
though.
great.
I've enjoyed it.
Sounds great, like positive mindset. I mean, taking us back, you mentioned you've been playing since you were young. Like, what was the start of your golfing journey?
So I first picked up a club when I was 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I vaguely remember going there. Don't get me wrong, I was pretty young, but yeah, no, I've always just kind of the stories I've been told, as well as me growing up playing golf, is just kind of I've always had that ability to just hit the ball and do, and regardless of what my swing looked like,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's been better in some, when I was really young, we're all just trying to make contact. But as far as my dad tells me and kind of what I remember anything of when I was younger, I just always had that natural ability to hit the ball well,
Yeah.
So, did I have a textbook swing at 6 years old? No. My dad played for a couple of years, and in that stint is how I started the game and moved up. He doesn't play anymore, but obviously he has all the information from me. So, but yeah, no. So that's how I got into it. Yeah, well, I was 5 years old. Like I said, always had the ability to hit the ball. Literally from day one. Even the first ball I was hit. Apparently, my dad watching me, he goes, most kids when they're little, they, miss the ball or throw the club or God
Yeah.
knows what, do
Yeah.
swivels on a driving range. But
Yeah.
apparently, he said he gave me a club. I went over the ball and I hit it and I never missed.
Oh,
So
amazing.
that's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a cool little thing. I mean, not that I can remember too much of it the very, very first start, but
Sure.
that's what he used to tell me, and I don't remember life without golf. So, and
Mm-hmm.
then going up through the junior stuff, made it to county stuff. So a lot of the guys had handicaps at the age of 8 and 9, and we weren't really sure about that because I'm the only one in my family that plays golf
Mm-hmm.
properly. So I started, coaching when I was 6, 7 years old, and I still see both. Well, there's a guy named David at Horsham.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed that. He was my first coach, and how really started to move on with the game and enjoy it. And he's definitely saw a spark in me, which was nice. And then
Is that Horsham Golf and Fitness? That's
yeah,
yeah.
Horsham, that's where I first started.
Oh,
What's
you were
that?
literally down the road from me then. I was I,
Yeah,
I, I was born in Crawley, so
okay, yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Horsham Golf and Fitness. I was there till I was 12,
Mm-hmm.
and then 13 onwards, I was there at Horsham and at Manning's Heath.
Yep.
And then after my coaches weren't at Horsham anymore, there wasn't a great deal for me to be at Horsham anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now at Manning's Heath and I'm ambassador for them, which is cool.
Yeah.
Always had a good relationship with everyone up there and my coaches and stuff. But yeah, so as a junior, I basically um, yeah, had coaching and stuff like that. I didn't get my handicap at the age of 7 or 8 years old. We weren't into that too much. My first handicap I had, I remember it, and I always will. I was 11 years old, and my first handicap was 11.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. There you
So that
go.
was
Bang
I
on.
surpassed 20, 25, 30. Because I mean, yeah, it was nice. I've always loved the game. I've always wanted to do well. Um, I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so that
Mm-hmm.
kind of drive's always been there. So yeah, I kind of did that, and then got my handicap from when I was 11, off of 11 when I was 11, and then I was off of about 5 when I was 12, and I think I made
Mm-hmm.
it to scratch when I was 13, something like that. So
Wow. Yeah, yeah.
steady progress, which
Pretty
was
quick
good. And
progression,
then,
really. Yeah.
yeah, steady progress. It was good. I was loving the game, and I didn't want to be at school. I just wanted to play golf.
Everyone
Um,
can resonate with
yeah,
that.
I think everyone's a bit the same there. But no, so yeah, that's kind of how my stuff started. Then went towards county and then regional of the country. Playing for England regional stuff, and then did a lot of training with them, and then played the England national events and
Hmm.
under 16s, McGregor Trophy, stuff like that. I was tied for the lead after a couple of rounds, finished fourth and had had a good few seasons in my mid-teens and did
Hmm.
well in, the local stuff as well, which was cool. But yeah, no, just everything I can enjoy. And then unfortunately COVID happened when I was 17. So my late part of my junior career was basically non-existent. Like,
Wow. Yeah.
so it was a bit of a shame to not kind of finish it off there on a really high, but I mean, there's not a lot we can do. We all had to
Yeah.
adapt. So, but then before, yeah, COVID kind of happened, and then after junior stuff, I went to the States, got a full scholarship to go to a place in Texas.
Oh, cool.
Um, and then yeah, moving forward, I did 2 years in Texas, and then transferred to a place in Mississippi, and quickly came to the realization, because it's all new for us, as I say, is depending on what school you are, it makes a big difference to where you go and what they do.
Hmm.
So the place I transferred to, I mean, where I was in Odessa, it was the number one JUCO in the nation. So I mean, it was
Yeah.
great. everything was golf related. We had a great team and we had loads of good facilities. I was playing 12 months of the year. I mean, it was
Yeah.
great for a golfer. And then transferred, and it wasn't quite what I wanted. So anyway, finished all that, and then gave myself a year to basically the goal was just get good at golf,
Okay. Yeah.
get
Yeah.
really good. Like I mean,
Good goal.
there's not many times that you can kind of do that, but I just thought, you know what, I don't regret anything. I'm happy that I transferred.
Hmm.
I'm also happy that I just took a step back, allowed me basically to just try and get as good as possible. Played a few clutch events and stuff towards the end of the year. Managed to finish strong at my local home club, actually, Manning's Heath. They had a Q Series idea for Clutch this year for the Tier 1 card.
Hmm.
Um, Managed to play good there, shot like 65, 73, 74, like an average second round of 69. Top
Nice.
20 got in, and I got like eighth or something. So just a good, like, nice finisher. And that was my first pro event. So
Hmm.
as much as you don't kind of get a certificate or anything being a pro, like as a kid, you wish you did or whatever, it's like, it was nice to kind of first round as a pro at the end of last year. It was like a punched in 65 to start my pro career, which is quite
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So,
And probably the feeling of like I fit in this space, because those guys, like you said, I know it's the tour that maybe people aren't as aware of, but the golfers on it are incredibly good golfers. So to come in and finish eighth in that event as your first proper pro event must have been a big moment, right? Just that feeling.
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was very lucky it was at my home club. But to be honest with you, I've always been a bit of a kind of an adventurous golfer. It doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
I don't go and shoot like 65 every day at my home club and then go and shoot 75 every day at other clubs. I'm kind of, my game is my game and I tailor it to wherever is needed. So yeah, it was nice because there's always that thing, isn't there? Everyone says it's like, when do you turn pro, or should I or shouldn't I? And the way I kind of saw it is like, I'm a golfer, I want to be good.
Mm-hmm.
So how do I get good? Or what's the next best thing for me to do to throw myself in the deep end to see if I can swim?
Yeah.
So for me, I probably would be one of the earlier ones to turn pro.
Mm-hmm.
But that was my goal. I mean, like I say, I had one full year to just try and get as good as possible. Gave myself a little bit of experience playing a few clutch events as an amateur. Got a few good finishes on tier two stuff as well, which was nice. Just geared myself up really, and then I wanted to turn pro at the end of the year to go into 25 feeling like I am a professional golfer and this is what I'm doing. Like it's a
Yeah.
different mentality. I didn't want to go into 25 feeling like I'm gonna be pro, but like in March.
Sure.
So I
Yeah. Yeah.
wanted to feel like 2025 was the year of my amateur golf is finished and this is a new journey.
Yep.
And because even when you play amateur golf, I've had a great time. There's been a lot of great memories, but I mean, ups and downs as the game always says. But
Cool.
whether you're a junior to an adult is one thing, or if it's UK golf to America or playing your game wherever you are, but it's all amateur golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then making that step to pro, it's kind of, um, I think you just got to really trust yourself. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no right or wrong answer. There's no one, as we all know, there's no one pathway. There's no, this is the only way to do it, and there's no other choice. It's kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
as long as you feel like you're ready to do it, and which I was. That's why I gave myself a year and then said, "This is my goal. I'm going to turn pro."
Mm-hmm.
Um, Once you have that in plan and you give it your all, I mean, what else can you do? You got to do the best you can. So as long as
Absolutely.
you've got a plan and you stick to it and give it everything you've got, then there's no reason why you shouldn't, do what you feel is right.
100%. I wanted to take you back to that point that you made about COVID because it's one I hadn't really. I don't think I hadn't thought of it. And maybe the listeners are the same. That I mean that period of where you were playing like junior golf, and then that period of 17. Did you say it was when COVID hit?
Yeah.
So
So when was that? March 2020. So
yeah.
that's 5 years ago. I'm 21 now.
Mm-hmm.
22. Yeah, I was about, yeah,
16,
just
17.
after 16. So yeah, 17, 16, 17. Yeah.
So was there quite a noticeable thing of like a drop off in that period of players that because that was quite a big hit really when people were playing that regular amount of golf that you probably were
Mhm.
and really sort of getting into motion of okay, can I now become like an elite amateur and where can we go from there? Did you notice and maybe did you know some people that were at that stage, but because of that time, which I think everyone found difficult, just sort of I mean, psychologically as well, with what we were having to deal with,
Mhm.
and we've not seen people and everything like that as well. Did you notice that there was quite a big drop off in the junior game, and then when you came back and sort of playing amateur level, those people weren't around anymore, or did people stick it out?
I mean, the people I surrounded myself with and the teams I was in was the kind of England regional and you
Yeah,
know the top guys. And when it came to the junior side of things.
sure.
So yes, I mean I wasn't playing, in and out of the country and all that kind of stuff. I mean, none of us were, but it wasn't kind of like county golf where, people's
Sure.
stories are very different.
Mm,
So in the county side, yes, it's very true.
mm,
Um, I'd say most people, I wouldn't say they gave up, but around that 17, 18, 19 years of age anyway, I think kind of, everyone has a lot of growing up to do,
yeah.
as old as
Choices to
we
make
think
and
we are. Yeah.
mm,
So I mean, I was there. So I always like to think of myself as being fairly mature for my age anyway, and I
mhm,
kind of knew what my plan was from an early age. But to answer your question, yeah, so I think there was a good few people that kind of, life hit them.
mm,
Just other factors, distractions, work, whatever pathway they did, whether it's college or uni or work or I don't know, whatever their path was.
yeah.
I feel like there was a good amount of people that stuck it through and basically just dismissed it, and it affected everybody differently. I mean, none of us could play with events, sure, but I wouldn't say loads of people dropped out. I think
Mm,
it's just kind of because it was such a long period. They said it was 2 weeks or whatever, and it ended up
yeah,
being
yeah,
it felt like years.
yeah.
I feel like it's just kind of not any different to how most people drop off anyway because they don't want to play anymore, they don't enjoy it, or other things happen in their life. So I
Yeah.
think everyone was there or thereabouts. It just affected them in the coming years differently, depending on who you were, how you took it, kind of what was available to you at the time.
Mm,
But I wouldn't say there was like a big drastic change. If anything, for junior golf and a lot of the guys that especially at my club at least, going to sort of club players, there was a huge rise in golf,
yeah,
massive.
yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, that was kind of for a while, that was like one of the only sports you could do. So participation wise, it went up. Regarding level wise, everyone kind of did their bit to carry on, and but yeah, no more than kind of anyone else wouldn't do without COVID.
No,
So
that's interesting. Yeah, because like you said, that makes sense. That sort of age, people are making choices anyway. It's interesting to hear that it didn't really have a huge effect as to that sort of level of golfer and what they continue to pursue. So no, that answers that question.
as
There we go.
far as I'm aware, so I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
who I surrounded myself with regarding things like England region, a lot of my friends and whoever were on there, they're still in uni in the US, or they're still
Mhm.
playing golf, or they've turned pro, or something like that. It might be the odd county golfer that's dropped out, or the odd club player, but
Yeah.
nothing that wouldn't have happened anyway. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah. So when you went over to play in Texas, to play sort of
Yeah.
college golf out there, how did you find that experience and going and how did you find tailoring your game to sort of those sort of style of courses? Because it's different grass, obviously, different way of sort of playing.
Yeah.
How did you find that experience?
So before even going over there, my at the time my England regional coach Stephen Orr, I was very dubious about it
Mm,
because, like I say, I don't really have a golfing backgrounded family. Anything I
sure.
ever found out was through my coaches or my peers. There was no like dad or mum or uncle that was going, hey, like this is how it works. So I
Yeah.
had no idea. I always say to everyone, I was like, I knew nothing the difference between Texas and New York. I had no clue when it comes to golf because I hadn't played out there.
Yeah.
And through COVID, we couldn't exactly just go and visit and see how it was. But going over there and playing and stuff, like I say, I've always been an adventurous person and want to do these things in general. I'm
Hmm.
kind of interested and intrigued in this stuff. But even like I say, so Stevie always said to me, he was like, man, your game is basically fit for the US.
Right.
I mean, me not knowing, you know, I always try and manipulate my game around whatever golf course I have to play. If it's whatever country, it doesn't matter. Every good player does, I'd like to think. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of things. The most thing I found, oh, sorry, the most kind of important thing I found was I definitely learned to hit the ball high.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'd have thought
So
that'd been number one, right?
yeah, I mean, I was always a I've never been someone that really drives the ball low. Like there's some guys that play links courses that I mean they hardly hit it off the ground.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, but I was never. I'd say I was like a medium,
Hmm.
medium kind of ball flight player. I could get it high, I could get it lower. I had the shots in me.
Hmm.
But I mean, I just played a very kind of standard, I'd say, ball flight. And then over there, I mean, God, I could lean back on a driver and it would just rip through the air. So,
Really?
just playing through that and everything is carry. I don't think I remember playing a golf course that rolled more than 10 yards on the fairway. So,
Right.
not that I could see, or I mean, yeah, they were hilly and stuff, but it was more like side slopes. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like a big runoff or you can bump one into the green. I mean,
Yeah.
that was very rare. The only time you're bumping it into a green is if you hit it into the tree and you need to punch it out. But yeah, no,
Needs must one.
yeah, yeah. So no, I mean, it was really good. The one thing that um, I guess you could say was difficult at the start, which I overcome, was my wedge play and chipping.
Hmm.
That's never, when I was a junior, at least, my wedge play and my chipping was never up to the standard I wanted it to be.
Hmm.
Um, it was the first time I kind of went, you know what, like, just certain things just weren't clicking,
Mm.
and I wasn't, I mean, horrible. There were some times I just had no confidence because for so long I hadn't been doing it that well.
Yeah.
Um, because I mean, you could literally one shot you could hit and it feels fine, and you've stubbed it straight in the ground and it's gone nowhere. The ball's got a foot in front of you, and sometimes you'll blade it.
Right.
And I was just struggling with that a little bit because it was just so. It's just like you don't even look or see that grain of grass in the UK. Like it's not even
Yeah.
visible. But when I kind of got to learn about it, and honestly, all it took was just time.
Hmm.
Uh, because like I say, I've managed to be able to hit it in the air, and I could do all that sort of stuff. That's not a big tweak, to be honest.
Hmm.
But the short game and stuff, I'd definitely say improved over time because it gave me those sort of lies. So I feel like I come back to the UK and to chip and hit a wedge shot is like the easiest thing in the world. Like you
Right.
just hit it. There's
Yeah. Yeah.
nothing to really worry about. I mean, as long as you're in the fairway and you don't get a flyer out of the rough or something, or
Hmm.
unless you're in a divot, I mean, it's not that bad. It's not going to be snagging your club. It's not going to be kind of flying through it or anything.
Hmm.
It's not really a lot to worry about. But one good thing I took from the US was my putting was always decent, but it's definitely excelled in the last 2 or 3 years or so.
Right.
Stats wise, as well as just being confident at putting. And everyone was like, "Oh my God, what the hell has happened to your putting?
Hmm.
Like, how have you managed that?" And I was just like, "Well, if you put two and two together, as opposed to playing on good greens for 5 months of the year, I'm playing on good greens for 11 and a half months of the year.
Yeah.
Obviously, practicing and stuff, yeah, but just having that to your hand, I think
Yeah.
just most of the guys they don't even take a putt for 2 months and wonder why they're not holding 5 footers.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I think definitely the US gave me time to get good at putting, which I'm happy with. Wedges and short game is the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Everything else you can play. You can hit it a bit higher. It's not the biggest tweak. You naturally want to hit it higher anyway. You start figuring out that okay, I need to carry that bump because if I hit a mid-flight, you're not going to carry it, or you're not going to
Hmm.
get it in the air long enough. Um, but just adjusting to these things and playing in the wind is a lot easier in the US too.
I was going to ask that. I've never played in the US, but when they sort of talk about the wind, I just think, like, that's not wind. You sort of
Well,
see it.
funny thing is, so I thought America was this place that's just, pure as anything. There's no wind, and that's true in a lot of places, but
Yeah.
not in West Texas, it's not.
Okay. Yeah.
It
Yeah. It
gets
blows a
just,
bit.
yeah. I mean, there's some days it's calm as anything and beautiful. It's really
Hmm.
good. And then there's some times where, I mean, I remember playing an event and it was blowing like 40-mile-an-hour gusts,
Oh
like
wow. Yeah.
it was crazy. But like the general wind, like a one club wind, if
Yeah.
something's, playing maybe 10, 11 yards into something like that.
Hmm.
The funny thing is, in the US, especially, it was a little bit above sea level, but nothing crazy, not like Denver or anything like that.
Mm.
But what felt like to me as us British golfers, we go, right, that's at least 15 yards into breeze. That's even if I knock it down. Obviously, you don't
Hmm.
want anything ballooning up. So even if I knock it down, that's going to be at least 10, 11 into. It would hurt the ball like by 4 yards.
Right. So it
And
just
it would
cuts through
just,
it more.
yeah, it would just like how you and I would feel the UK golf, the same kind of weather when it's warm and everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't like really hot or anything. It was like kind of on, say, an average March or April day when it was like, 25 degrees, lovely weather, lovely day. But same kind of heat that we can get here in the summer. You think, no, no, that's, I'm clubbing up from a, 7 to at least a 6 iron here. If anything, maybe a little 5.
Right.
And over there, you could just hit a smooth 6 iron where you'd think here you might need to even hit a punchy 5 and it would get there with ease. So it kind of threw me
Interesting.
off there a little bit because as soon as I feel into wind, I feel like everything is more. And
Yeah.
as soon as it's downwind, I feel like everything is less. But I
Yeah.
feel like that into wind where you're like, as soon as that goes up, that's going to go absolutely nowhere.
Hmm.
It just kind of, you need to hit it a bit lower to keep it down, sure, but it would just kind of pierce through it anyway.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so it was a weird kind of thing because like I say, I was growing up, and if I feel wind, I'm knocking it down.
Yeah.
But the problem
Yeah.
is, if you knock it down and it doesn't hurt anything, then you can't hold the green.
Yeah.
So
Right.
it
I
was kind of
see.
it was like a midpoint between not being too low so you can't hold the green, but not being too high that it balloons.
Hmm.
But like I say, if it was a 10-mile-an-hour wind, it felt like it hurt the ball maybe 6, 7 yards. But whilst here, it'd be at least a club and a half.
Yeah. Well, I live on the coast now, like played near like Seaford Head and
Yeah, yeah,
uh, East Brighton,
yeah,
and if you're coming at the back nine of East Brighton into a 30-mile-an-hour wind off the sea, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I could club like 4 clubs up pretty much every hole, and it'd still probably go
Yeah.
nowhere, do you know?
I played what was it? I played a junior open there when I think I was about 13 or something. I had a good little story there actually. I was yeah, that hole down 18.
Yes.
It's like you go way down there and you hit this bowl. Honestly, it's probably been about 8 years since I've played there, but I remember it.
Yeah. Stuck
Yeah,
in your mind.
exactly that. So I think it was fairly calm that day. I mean, the wind was blowing, but it wasn't like straight into the teeth from 100 yards and I'm hitting a 7 iron. It was like
Hmm.
it was fairly normal. But yeah, just little things like that. Going back to the junior stuff, that was funny you say East Brighton. That was a memorable one because I remember playing these things as a kid and wanting to do well, and it was I was always ready to play kind of
Hmm.
thing. And that was one event where I'd actually turned up, and for absolutely no reason, I felt absolutely fine going into the event. It's just those 18-hole junior opens, but as a kid, it meant everything to you.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just remember I just had a really I was just really bad what was it, illness or something, and it came out of nowhere. And then I was the one time that I kind of learned something. Funny you say that, because I've always wanted to do well, very inexperienced, but also a good golfer. And I was like, I probably should pull out of this one. Like I can't even walk properly. I mean, it's
Right.
horrible.
Wow.
But then that was the first time. Reason why I'm saying is the first time I had a huge learning lesson because I was thinking if I just go out there and try, what's the worst that's going to happen? But honestly, I could hardly stand up.
Right.
I went out there, went and shot 4 under and won by 7 shots. And I'm like, I think I was about 12 or something like that. But it gave
Insane.
me that.
Yeah.
But it was amazing being that young golfer. How much, as soon as mentally you let go because of a
Yeah.
physical illness, you're thinking, I'm probably going to not do that great. So let's just try.
Hmm.
Because 5 minutes before that, I was ready to get back in the car and go home and go, I'm done for the day. I can't even walk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing how that young brain, as soon as you switch it off, how I would never in a million years have dreamt I would have shot 4 under par at the age of 12 with stomach, all sorts of issues and everything.
Yeah.
Can't even walk over the fairway type thing. Come back
Right.
and win by 7. How the hell does that happen?
It's
You know.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, just little memories like that as a junior or playing in the US. I've had a good amount of golf kind of, in the Middle East or UK mainly. US was a couple of years. I've just enjoyed it. It's been a good journey. I've been, we're very fortunate to be able to do this. I don't forget that. So.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, no. Do you implement that sort of those ideas now? Obviously, you had that lesson that you learned as a junior golfer of sort of removing yourself from the equation and maybe removing expectation from the equation as well. Do you still try and implement that when you go out and play now?
Yeah, so I feel like, that's also something I'm working on now, actually. So the funny thing is whenever I used to play really well when I wanted to do well, like set myself a goal or a
Hmm.
target and this was pre-COVID. So recently I kind of, I was still looking back at that, but I was like 15 years old. And I'm thinking, COVID has happened. I've grown up. I'm now like nearly 19, 20 at the time. I'm thinking this was 4 or 5 years ago. Most people can't remember what they did 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where I was kind of, for a while, I was in the search for it to just play good, solid golf,
Mhm.
because I had a stage where I couldn't really break par. I mean, I could, but there was the deep one just wasn't there at all. So I could shoot maybe one under level, two under, one under. Two under was a good round, and most of it would be. This was a couple of years ago. I couldn't really get any better than one under, really, to be honest.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't really, my blow up round was like kind of 76, but it was just consistently very average golf for my own thinking and standard.
Sure.
So yes, was it really high? No, as in I wasn't shooting like 85 or anything like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but I just wasn't moving forward and it wasn't satisfying me enough. So,
Mhm.
but what I've noticed recently, what I do now, which has been nice because it's more recent, it's only the end of last year, it's literally last week or the week before, shooting these good numbers. The way I look at golf now is I play the game with my head.
Mhm.
Genuinely, I do. So, I'm a big believer of kind of prepare and practice in your practice time. Like almost prepare your body to do like a machine.
Mhm.
So imagine it like a car, right? You fuel it well, you keep all your services and all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to calibrate my body basically when I'm practicing, trying to
Mhm.
achieve certain things, whatever goal it is for the day. If I'm trying to hit a certain shot, or if I'm trying to tweak my swing in the off season, trying to have that little goal. Whenever I'm playing the game in a tournament, it's like a complete swap. So I work on myself. The best way to be sometimes is selfish. So if you're trying to, you know, be a really good wedge player, or you're trying to be, oh, I want my stats for hitting fairways this amount, or how do I work on that? Dissect it all down into a process.
Mhm.
Have a goal, try and achieve it per day. Try and do that 1% better, as everyone says. And then whenever I go and play, just especially recently, played at Haythrop and I shot 5 under 66. And I've never played around genuinely where I was like, I literally, everything was a blur because I was playing the game with my brain
Yeah.
and I don't really remember what my body did, to be honest.
Sure.
So, and I know that's really I mean, everyone's different. So there's no right or wrong answer here.
Mm.
But for me, playing off of that, I feel like that's how being in this kind of, the new stuff towards pro and, everything like that, you don't really care about anyone else or what they're doing. You're just trying to be good yourself. So, like I say, I calibrate myself and do everything I can in my practice, i.e., from today or yesterday with my wedges or my drive or whatever it is for the week.
Yeah.
And then when I'm playing tournaments, I don't think about swing, I don't think about anything. All I do is think about a shot, try and keep my flow state of mind, which is obviously
Mm.
another subject, but try and keep that flow state. And then my body has hit so many golf balls and I've calibrated it right that it should work anyway.
Yeah.
There's a relationship between your mind and your body
Mm.
and your nervous system. So, I'm a big believer in that sort of stuff. So I basically play the game with my mind and my body just does it,
Yeah.
to be honest. I mean, because I've always, like I said, even from a kid, I could have had the worst swing in the world, but I found a way to be from the balls here, from here to here. I
Yeah.
managed to hit it decently.
The hand eye
you
is
know,
there. Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hand eye is there. So
Mhm.
obviously, I'm not saying don't work on things.
Mm.
Like I said, I work on things on my off days, or
The
whether it's a
course
swing
isn't the
thing or
course isn't
whatever.
the time to start
No,
messing around with swing,
no,
is
no,
it?
no, no. And
Yeah.
I mean, none of us are perfect
Mm.
by any means. There's no such thing as perfect.
Yeah.
If that was the case, I should shoot 18 under, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So, but no, there's always something to improve. Take away the good stuff. But exactly that. Like, I really feel my biggest thing at the moment, or my little quote, I guess you could say at the moment, is play with your mind and your body follows.
Mhm.
So, not getting too far ahead, obviously, one shot at a time. I know many people have heard that.
Sure.
And it's annoying because it's true, but
Yeah.
it's kind of how you take it. Because my in-depth version of that is, yeah, you play the game with your mind and your body follows what your mind's doing.
Mhm.
Your mind's not reacting to what your body's doing. Your
Mhm.
body's reacting to what your mind's doing. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, if you really go into that quite deeply, it's a very different way of playing golf. If you notice, if most golfers they'll hit a good shot or a bad shot, and their moods are just like this.
Yeah, yeah, fluctuating the whole
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
because their brain is always reacting to what their body's just done,
yeah,
which the most golfers are not very well calibrated because they can't put the time in to practice, which is
sure.
fine. Not everyone is like us, where we've got all the time in the world to try and get better. That's not their full time thing.
Yeah,
But my thing is, my body reacts to my mind. My mind doesn't react to my body, and
yes,
that also helps me to keep a very
even keel throughout.
even, yeah, even around the way. So I mean, we've all had that when we were young, going, "Oh no, that was really bad," or "This was really good," and I just don't like being up and down like that. I feel like I have a headache after 18 holes.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like what am I doing? You know,
yeah,
but if I can just focus on one thing at a time and my body reacts to it naturally through practice and calibration of the work I've done,
yeah,
it will happen.
yeah,
So, and that's what I mean. I shot 66 the other day at Haythrop, and um, second couple of days, that's something I need to work on is the following rounds to try and keep pushing.
yes, yeah.
Because that's something I need to work on at the minute, and everyone has got something to work on. But
What do you think? What do you
playing
think
the
that's
game,
holding you back on those second rounds? If you could break it
uh,
down, or are you still searching for the answer for that?
I mean, the thing is that if I look at my stats and if I look at kind of what I'm doing, it's not that different.
Sure. Yeah.
I think I think what it is uh, I just we all do, but I just need to get better at being within myself.
Hmm.
Because I'm not one to be easily distracted. It doesn't have to be anything like that, but I think what it is kind of again having that experience of playing a couple of days in a row well,
Yeah.
so once that happens, like whatever that is for myself, so you could say I'm searching for it, yes.
Hmm.
But once I have got that, I'm going to hold on to it and never let go, believe me.
Yeah. Bottle it up.
Uh, yes, and write it down, do whatever the hell I need to do to make sure that this is not going anywhere. This is
Yeah.
kind of my formula to play well consistently.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not playing like horrible, horrible golf. It's just exactly that thing. The best guys on tour make the littlest mistakes. And I
Yeah.
feel like when I have that round of, 73, 74, even 70, whatever it is, it's kind of just the birdies are not quite dropping.
Mm.
And then after a while, it kind of catches up with me, and all of a sudden, the bogeys start happening from silly spots.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like just playing time will knock that away too, but just keeping my head in the present and, process over outcome type thing. And once I have that round and I've got it, I'm going to write down whatever it was for me that day that worked well, and I'm going to hold it, and I'm going to keep doing the same thing.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
I've learned so much from talking to people like yourself from this podcast. I mean, I am absolutely nowhere near the level of golf that you do. I mean, I started the year at 12.6, I think I was, and I think I'm down to 10.2 at the
There you go.
moment. So I was making some progress this year, and I finally broke 80, which has been a long
There you
struggle.
go. Yeah.
Shot a 78, but I did that, and I literally, it was the week after I spoke to Scott Fawcett on here,
I thought, yeah,
and it was some of the things that he was talking about. I mean, he's brutally honest with you to the point where it hurts sometimes,
yeah.
because he was like, at the end of the day, the most important thing for like a mid-handicap player is to not expect to be good enough to go at pins. And he's like, and I'm not talking about from 150 yards out. Like, we're talking all the way up to the green. He's like,
Mhm.
you go for the fat of the green and you just start putting, because once you start putting, you're going to get it in the hole a lot sooner than with a wedge or with an iron in your hand.
Yeah.
And it might sound like negative, and I might be paraphrasing what he said there, but I took that in, and like you said, I think like what you were saying earlier, sort of taking yourself out of the equation, maybe even a little bit of ego out of the equation as well, as to like what it means to play your version of good golf, like taking that out of the equation and just viewing it as a management system almost when you're out on the course, just massively helped me. I mean, obviously there was I think I did that with a triple on the scorecard as well, so there was better golf there,
Yeah.
but it would be silly for me to moan about the triple because at the end of the day, I did it. But I took that into a thing, and the other thing was I took from another podcast as well, the quiet eye technique. Have you heard about this? I'm sure you've.
I think, yeah, I have heard. Explain it to me. I'm pretty sure I have, though.
This episode of the Birdie Golf Club podcast is brought to you by Birdie Golf Designs. Nick Bird from Birdie Golf Designs has created some beautiful irons, and let alone are they just beautiful, they're affordable as well. I have here the Goat Collection irons, which I think are absolutely stunning. This camera does not do them justice, but I've been gaming them for just under a month now, and they've enabled me to break 80, which I hadn't been able to do before, and just play far more consistent golf. I love the look of them. They make me feel like an absolute player whilst still being forgiving. And there's a wide range of selection of irons that are available on the Birdie Golf Designs website. So head over there now and check it out. And don't forget to use code podcast25 at checkout. That's code podcast25 at checkout for 10% off your order. Thanks, Birdie Golf Designs.
Yeah, go on.
So I think this is Lee Crumblehome.
Okay.
I was listening to another podcast and he was on there and he was talking about that when we focus on a target, we think our eyes are doing this. But in reality, you've got one eye on target and the other eye's over here somewhere. So he said, especially when you're looking at a golf ball, and it was kind of going back to what you were saying earlier, from a young age, you've been able to swing at a golf ball and hit it.
Hmm.
And we can almost take that for granted sometimes. But he was saying, if you can literally put a dot on the golf ball or focus on a dimple on the golf ball and really just focus your attention on that before you hit, before you putt, before you hit a wedge, whatever it might be, and just completely clear your mind, it's amazing what you can do. And I've implemented that all weekend. Of course, I hit some bad shots,
Yeah.
but I didn't think about swing once, which is such like for an amateur golfer, that is huge.
No,
I had guys
100%.
out there who were trying to get shallow in their practice swings, and it's like I've never seen that guy get shallow in his life, let alone like now.
40-yard slice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
like
get shallow. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I saw some guys get shallow in their backswing and then have nowhere to go from there. But it was just those little things were amazingly important. It's interesting hearing you say that. I mean, we touched on flow state there, and I will not claim to have experienced what a flow state is.
Not many people do, believe me. Yeah.
But like you said, is that I've heard obviously a lot of pro golfers talk about this. It's that almost the whole round's a blur. They could probably recount it to you later once they've sort of had a moment and things, but to get to that state, are you just finding that just comes with all the things that you've learned through your amateur career and then now turning pro, just all culminating together in that moment and then kind of not being aware of it, right? I mean, that's kind of what you don't want to be too aware of what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, I mean, the best way I would explain flow state, I mean, how all of your past, believe it or not, this is what makes it a factor. We're talking about the present, right? Flow state is about as much as you can being in the present. That
Hmm.
is the idea of it, because that's how you're going to get to that optimal flow state. Because if you're worried about outcomes, then anxiety starts happening. If you're
Sure.
worried about past things, then confidence starts happening. All these things are factors and stuff, which is good. The way I'd see it is kind of everything you have in your past is experience. I wouldn't look at it as kind of up or down confidence.
Hmm.
Um, and kind of what you can do with that. You can build yourself some confidence if you've done well or whatever that is. But I feel like I don't want to sound like the same old guy, but it's so true. Like
Yeah.
whenever you're whenever you're trying to play well, it's never like, oh, that's just what clicked. It
Mm.
just happens, because most of the time you're focused on one shot. You're trying to achieve one thing at a time. And for me, the one thing I do is set myself manageable tasks. That's the best way of looking at it. Instead of trying to play like one big round of 18 holes of 72 shots to shoot even par,
Yeah.
like, nah, I feel like the way I see it is I'm playing 18 rounds of one hole instead
Sure.
of
Yeah.
one round of 18. And there's loads of different ways that people say it. They say 3 of 6 or whatever. But I feel like the optimal state or flow state, as you say, is kind of depending on how you see yourself being in that moment.
Hmm.
Because as you say, when you're done with it, it's easy to talk about it. But when you're there, you don't really know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You know? So I'd say it's kind of you're looking at what you can do with one thing and
Hmm.
how are you going to get into that state to be able to pull off something under pressure or no pressure. There's always some kind of pressure, but the
Sure.
intensity of it, you're trying to get into that state to just pull off that calibration, as I said, as best as you can with your body.
Yeah.
But the way I'm seeing it, if I'm in a flow state and my body's following my mind, then it's already there. There's no reason why I shouldn't hit a good shot.
Hmm.
Of course, yes, there's pressure, there's nerves, and that's fine. Heart rate, there's all these things that you can reduce, breathing, or like I said, towards the flow state. But I think the way I've kind of tackling golf at the minute seems to be working for me is if you ask most of, I'm sure these listeners or anybody in golf or amateur golf or the average guy that plays pretty decent golf, I'd say 95% of them are always reacting, or more probably, but 95% of them are always reacting to what their body's doing.
Hmm.
Yet golf is not a perfectionist sport. It's basically the game is who can fail the best.
Hmm. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
or no, like who can fail. Yeah, who can? Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like you're always going to fail. It's just
Yeah.
how bad are you going to fail?
Yeah. How small can the miss be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, and that's the point. So, I mean, I think that's where I'm tackling it at the minute. If you, like I say, if you ask the amateur golfers or the average guy, do you react to your body or does your body react to your mind? And I can guarantee it's the first one every time
Yeah. Yeah.
because they're not looking into that and stuff. But to be able to play well and get into that flow state, as you said, it's kind of there needs to be a connection there. There can't be like such a big difference where your mind's running 100 mile an hour and your body's shaking.
Yeah.
There's got to be flow state and a flow between yourself,
Sure. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like you got to be able to put one foot in front of the other, be in the moment, keep that box breathing, or however you manage yourself to just be able to hit a shot. And there's ways to prepare for that. There's ways to breathe. There's ways to calm yourself down. Um, but at the end of the day, it's all about what works for you.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as well, I feel like a lot of people, including ourselves, we always think we have to go and shoot 64 to go and play well.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do sometimes, but it's very rare.
Mm.
Most people, if you shot 69 every single week, you're going to be on tour and you're going to be doing extremely well. So,
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's obviously what we're striving for. Everyone else, someone like yourself, you're trying to break 80 or
Yeah.
someone's
Yeah.
90 or whatever it is. Um, I just feel like my biggest thing that I always learn, especially my little hero is Tiger Woods. He's always been
Hmm.
my, that guy for me. Um, his thing was basically his three things were smash the par fives, annihilate them, hit it to 20 feet, and be a great lag putter.
Yeah.
I mean, 20 feet, people are like, oh, that's horrible. People even throw their 130 yards because
Yeah.
they hit it to 20 feet. And I'm like,
It's a huge
Tiger
win.
was arguably the best player in the world, and that's what he did all the time.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? I mean, yeah, sure, everyone wants to stiff it here and there. Everyone's allowed to and want to do that. But if you hit it, as you say, trying it kind of what Scott Foster was saying as well, if you just hit it in the middle of the green,
Yeah.
most of the time you shouldn't have more than 25 feet anyway.
You're winning at that point.
Yeah,
Really.
yeah. So get on the green,
Hmm.
be a good lag putter, and you can't be that far off.
Yeah. 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 100%. Yeah.
A lot of the time, that's where I get kind of where my brain's going. So I'm not upset if if I'm over a shot and I'm going right. Okay, I want to go. Depends on the left hand side. I'm trying to hit middle of the green here. Maybe a little draw, but nothing crazy. Not trying to whack one in there. There's a bunk. Hazard left, bunker right.
Yeah.
If I then go and hit it left, then because I was trying to do something too smart for myself, that's when I'll be bothered with myself
Sure.
because I wasn't committed to the line I know I needed to do.
Yeah.
But if I hit a shot and the wind gusts or it has a bad kick or
You
anything
just.
like that, I am never ever angry or mad at myself ever because wherever I tried to hit it is exactly what I just did. It just didn't pan out the way that I thought it would.
Yeah.
And then, but like you say, if you're trying to chip something, you're going to land it front edge of the green and you think it's going to roll out 10 feet, but it rolls out like 4.
Yeah.
But if I landed it exactly in the spot and the strike and everything, then it's a misjudgment on my behalf. But I can't be mad at the shot I just played.
You executed what you
Yeah,
planned to do. Yeah.
that's your goal. And I think most people, like you say, they look at the pin and go, right, there's the green light straight at the pin.
So, yeah.
And I mean, like I say, who on earth, how many hole in ones have you had in your life? Have you had one?
0. It still
Okay,
hurts. It still hurts.
yeah, I know. But the point is as Jack Nicklaus said in his quote too, the only time he ever holed it or got a hole in one or did something well is if he pushed or pulled it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was going to say to you, and if you do push or pull it onto a pin, you walk away and go, yeah, that's exactly what I was planning to
Yeah,
do.
yeah, that's easy as that. Isn't it? The game's easy. Yeah, no,
Little club
but
twirl,
yeah, just
job done.
style it out. They'll never know. Yeah, no, definitely. But it's like I said, it's a game of misses.
Yeah,
If you execute what you were trying to do, then if you're hard on yourself with that, then you're never going to be happy in the game.
it's an incredibly difficult game
It
that
is. It's
is
hard.
insane that we all play, basically. I mean, it's
I know.
just so hard. But in that moment of whatever level you are,
Mhm.
that moment where you kind of achieve something that you've wanted to achieve for a long time, I don't know another sport that gives you that feeling because of how difficult it is.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I feel, that well, I always try and remind myself of that too, because
Yeah.
for us as well, kind of, or where we are, or on whatever tour you're on, if you're a pro or even a really good amateur, I feel like after a while it can get a bit monotonous.
Mm.
So it's like you turn up to the driving range or you turn up to the golf course and everything's just boom, boom, boom. Some days you really need to do that, and it works.
Mm.
And some days you just need to look around you and go, life's not that bad.
Yeah,
Like, it's pretty good out here. I mean, the game is hard. It's supposed to be. Nothing in this world is easy. If
no,
you're that good at it.
exactly.
So,
And I
it,
guess as well, with looking at, I mean, to bring it back to your home course now, Manning
mm,
T,
mhm.
um, like you said, when you look around you, when you're playing in that sort of setting,
Yeah.
as the deer are running across the first sort of like fairway and stuff like that. I mean, how have you found Manning's Heath's facilities and everything like that for sort of honing in your game for this season? Have you really enjoyed being part of Manning's Heath with that?
But yeah, Manning's Heath has always been really nice to me.
Mm.
Simon, the manager, you got all the guys in the pro shop, and even just the members. They're all. You go in there and you feel like this is not a bad place to be. So I mean, unluckily, we all have the bad weather in the UK. Because it's on clay, it's a little bit wet in the winter, sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, in the good weathers, when all the golf courses are there, you've got an academy hole where you can drop balls, your own balls,
Mhm.
on a fairway. Because it used to be an old 18 hole, they switched it to 9. But
That's it. Yeah.
basically, there's an old hole now where you can just drop your balls from, I think, 150 to 200 yards or so. Big
Nice.
old green, just hit it into a green, which is obviously great practice for anybody,
Yeah.
myself or anyone that's trying to get better. 18 holes is a good quality golf course. I mean, it's not just, bash driver everywhere. It's really
No, it's not. Yeah.
strategic, and, you got to do the right thing, pull off the right thing. And then I feel like a lot of the times I go and play the Kingfisher course, which is the 9 hole,
Hmm.
um, because the only thing with the waterfall is an amazing golf course.
Yeah.
I really do like it, genuinely, but there's only kind of one way to play it.
Yes. Yeah.
So I mean, apart from the first the first hole, possibly second hole. But after from like 3 to like I'd say 11,
Hmm.
12, and then the rest on throughout is kind of depending on obviously the wind or the condition or whatever. You have to hit the same kind of shot.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's really into or down, you club up or down, but you hit the same thing.
Hmm.
Whilst the Kingfisher course, I like to go out and play from the front tees and try and shoot as low as possible because you can
Yeah.
basically hit driver everywhere.
Hmm.
Or you can go and 4 irons your longest club and play from the tips and make it really long.
Hmm.
So it's a good practice wise moving forward and testing different parts of your game. I like to go on the Kingfisher.
Hmm.
because I can basically make the golf course my own.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If I want to, if I, for example, next week, if there's basically driver everywhere, if that's the case, then I'll go and try and shoot as low as possible with a driver and
Yeah,
have drivers and wedges. And then if the next week it's like really, really tight and fairly short, but you have longer irons off the tee, longer irons into the green, then I'll put my drivers away and have a 4 iron as my longest or 2 iron or something and just go and play that. But great golf courses. If you're trying to have a bit of fun with your game, the 9 hole, like I say, that's the reason what I do.
yeah,
Then 18 holes at Manning's, I mean, it's a great layout. I mean, the 11th hole, I think it was like Gary Player said it was like his top 10 favorite hole in ever.
yes,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, so I mean, it is really good. Driving range, got a nice little driving range there. My best thing is always just go and play, you know,
yeah.
because I've had my times where I've hit it good on the range and we've got a good short game or whatever it is. But if someone says to me, "Oh, would you prefer to hit it really good on the range or go and shoot 65?" I'll take 65 all day long,
Of course, yeah, of
every
course.
single time. So regardless if I hit it good or bad, doesn't matter.
I saw that. I don't know if you've seen that really slow motion video of somebody hitting off mats. Have you seen that one? And
Where about?
it's just it was on Instagram. I saw a video of it, and it just shows like an iron coming into compression towards the ball, but
Oh, where it rises, right?
they've hit
Yeah,
it fat, and
yeah.
the ball just jumps up and hits the center
Makes
of
the
the club
best.
face.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm fortunate. I have Seaford Blatchington just down the road, which has a grass range.
Yeah,
And that's just so important for people's game just to hit off. If you're gonna go down and beat balls down the range, try and do it somewhere where you at least are hitting off grass,
yeah,
because the difference otherwise and going out and getting, say someone's never played before and all they've done is just hit balls at a range, and then they go out and find themselves in a bit of a dodgy lie, ball below
yeah. Back
feet.
down a little bit. Yeah.
You got no chance, like
No.
no chance. So. Yeah, that's great. I mean, yeah, the facilities at Man City are perfect for that. I'm going to be there next month actually to do a little bit with Man Heath, and like you
Nice.
said, Simon's a really great manager for that club.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. He's a good lad, and everyone. No, he's a real gentleman, and he knows what he's doing, and he's always got the club's interest at heart. And he's the one that's helped me to be kind of, an ambassador for them, and I've helped them with a few social media bits, and
Hmm.
more than happy to do things like beat the pro for their corporate days and stuff like that. And in
Yeah,
return,
yeah,
we just have a really good connection between all of us. So, and it's been really nice actually. It's a lot of fun kind of videoing. I've just been doing a course
saw
management
that.
series. So that's been fun. They're bringing that out every Monday. Happened to play pretty good as well, which was
Yeah,
nice. That's
yeah.
always makes it feel a bit better.
It's one of
So,
those where you're like, and this is where you go for center of the green and you push it to like 3 foot, and you're like, and
yeah,
if you do that, you do that, and you just tap in and walk
yeah,
away.
yeah. Well, it's funny because I had a lot of people. The first time it came out, I hit my 2 iron, and when you just play a hole and you just play it absolutely flawlessly.
Yeah, yeah, it just
Like,
goes well.
it was just an arrow. Like both shots were an arrow next to the pin and tap, but the pin was in the middle. So in all fairness,
Okay.
I mean it can't be that bad. So I wasn't being too aggressive, but yeah, no,
Friendly pins that
yeah,
day.
yeah, at least on the first hole. But no, I played really good and it was nice. But the amount of people, it was quite funny actually. Like, oh, did like as in my family or people that don't really play the game much. It's like, oh, really? You actually hit it there? I'm like, no, I've never played the game before. I don't know how to do that. I should be hitting it over the green or in the bunker. And I'm like,
That's an interesting dynamic because you said your family not really hugely into golf. Your dad played a bit of golf, right? But how, are they more into it now, or is it still like this sort of foreign thing to them? I can find
no,
that.
no. Obviously, they understand the rules of the game through me.
Yeah.
My dad understands generally, but he doesn't play to a standard where he can understand or manage a game. You know what I mean?
Okay. Sure.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
put him on a range or give him a putt, and he's always been pretty good somehow after not hitting a ball for 2 years somehow.
Yeah.
But if you try and talk, let's say golf language,
Sure. Yeah.
maybe I want to. This is the percentage play, and I don't want to be in the bunker, and I want to hit the left side of the fairway because that gives me a good angle in, and these kind of things.
Yeah.
Managing your game.
Mm.
Um, to him, the way he looks at it is like, if you need to make a par, just hit a 7 iron off the tee and hit another
Okay.
7 iron into the green. and just hold your par and walk on. And to be honest, he's not wrong.
He's not
But
wrong. No.
but the idea is obviously you have to tailor the course to your game, and I think that's kind of a spot where it's difficult because to them it's obviously I'm pretty long off the tee, which is nice. I've always
Mhm.
kind of had that and been into my gyms and stuff, so
Yeah,
I do enjoy that. But them, I guess you could say they understand it. They understand the game. They understand the quality of the game and
yeah,
how difficult it is through me. They've watched me growing up as a kid and stuff. I think just for them, it's more to have a really good conversation like this with you, for example, like the
yeah,
quality of what the game is, just to try and break 80, just to
yeah,
try and hit the middle of the green. Why is that?
yeah,
I'd tell that to a non-golfer that hasn't played. They're like, well, why wouldn't you just go for the pin?
yeah,
Right? It's kind of that's the idea. So I guess the idea of the percentage play doesn't appeal to them much.
yeah. I would say
Just
that,
because they
that's
don't play.
relatable though, because the golf trip I went on where I broke 80, there was literally we had guys they're all into their golf, but you try and explain like decade system
Oh
to
yeah.
like a 25 or a 30 handicapper, and they're just going to be like, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
Hmm.
why wouldn't you go for the pin if you're just off of it? And it's like, well, it's tucked, and
Hmm.
so I think that's relatable for a lot of people. But I
Yeah,
think generally people that listen to this podcast will probably, I'd imagine, most of them be in the frame of mind where they're over analyzing for sure.
yeah. No, definitely. I mean, you know what? Sometimes there's always that man. I always try and manage everything, whether
Mm,
it's in golf or in anything. It's like you can have too much of something and you can have too little of something. You got to find that balance in absolutely everything. So I just feel like whatever you have, whatever you do, just to me at the minute, I really like speaking to people that have done what I've done or better.
yeah.
So I'm not saying they're the only ones, but if you can
Mhm.
surround yourself with the people that have done what you've done, or they're improved, or they're better than you,
Yeah.
just like soak up whatever they say to you. Like
Mhm.
honestly, because I feel like a lot of it, especially the club golfers, are ego players.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's just like, oh no, so it is what it is. But deep down, they're like, how do I get 3 shots better?
Yeah, they've
So
got that sweet local course
yeah,
handicap, members handicap going on, and they're just living off
exactly.
of it.
Yeah. Everyone's at the end of the day, who doesn't want to be in their comfort zone, right?
Oh, 100%.
Especially if
Yeah.
it's an enjoyment. But I think just if you're really trying to get better, if you're really trying to, or you're at that stage where you've got better, but you sort of stalled, they hit that wall.
Hmm.
Um, People are so important. I mean, to me at the minute, even being a newer pro on tour or on the Clutch tour at least, I've played with so far. I've had what 5, 6 events, and I've played with an ex-DP World Tour player, two of them, Challenge Tour player, all these kind of tours and stuff. And I mean, obviously we're playing an event, so I don't have loads of time to chat to
Sure.
them. But what I'm absorbing is what they're doing, you
Hmm.
know, because and if you ever speak to them, they always say, I mean, don't be so. Even for us, we're all trying to think, trying to do really, really well, like we want to. That's what we work hard for.
Yeah.
But the guys that were on DP World were telling me, they were like, dude, I mean, half the guys on Clutch hit it just as good, if not better, than DP World players do,
Hmm.
or PGA Tour players, whatever. But what they do is they just play boring golf, i.e., that 20 feet,
Yeah.
make the odd putt, don't do anything silly.
Yeah.
If you add that up over round after round after round and you minimize those stupid, silly mistakes,
Yeah.
before you know it, those couple of putts will drop instead of those 2 or 3 mistakes happening.
The hole will get in the way eventually.
There's
Yeah.
four
Yeah.
or five shots, and you add that up over 3 round tournament for us or 4 round on DP World. I mean, it won't be 4 or 5 shots, but even just one or two.
Yeah.
That's the difference between making a living and making cuts, or even performing really well and doing absolutely nothing and going, "What is wrong with my life?" you know. So I mean, but it's funny, isn't it? How
Yeah.
most of us go, nothing's dropping, or not. At the end of the day, you're at like level par. You got like 3 holes left. Maybe one or two will drop. Next day, you've always a chance. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
much prefer to be level than fighting for your life at 7 over par.
You're
or
giving
whatever
yourself a
your level
chance to
is.
go low at least,
Yeah,
rather than the blow up holes, and then it's like, well,
exactly.
that's game over.
And exactly that. I feel like everyone that plays, we can all play good. I
Yeah.
mean, if you ask anyone on our tour or tour that better than us, even, it's not like their lowest round's going to be 69. You know,
Yeah.
like we've all been there. We've all shot. My lowest round's 62.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we've all played good rounds. We all do well. But it's about avoid, when you don't have it, your plan B or C game that you just feel like, why on earth is it not happening today? But the
Mm,
best guys go, it's all right, shot level, one under anyway. Just didn't do anything stupid, didn't do anything crazy, but they don't have like that one plan A, and if it works, it's brilliant, and if it's not, then it's like the worst thing ever.
mm,
They just knock it round.
yeah.
On their off day, they accept that is, you know what, it's not the best day in the world, but level par or one under never hurt anybody. You
Hmm.
know, they don't have the 79. Like it's just
They're still in it.
yeah. I mean, you can go and a lot of the times you'll see the guys are like the really top guys. Do you like they're like oh I shot like even par today or one under par, not too bad. Go and play good tomorrow. Go shoot four under tomorrow on a
Yeah.
on a good day. Hopefully it comes to them. Even 2 days of not so good golf to them
Yeah.
that plays the boring golf, the strategic golf and stuff. Two under par, they've made the cut. Just try and make a run on the weekend or the last day or whatever. And before you
Yeah.
know it, they crept up there, got top 10, and that was top 10, top 15, and that was a decent week for
You look at how
them.
Scotty's basically played the last sort of like couple of years. It's just he seems to do that week in, week out, doesn't he? Where he just looking at the PGA Championship, um, you know, two under, two under. That's how he started it. Didn't really come across many people's radar, but was what, four shots back
Hmm.
going into the Saturday, and
Yeah,
then just those putts drop on the Saturday, they drop on the Sunday, and he wins the tournament. And obviously Scotty is at the moment just playing probably
ridiculous.
about as as good as consistent golf since we've seen since Tiger,
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
which is the biggest praise you can give anyone, right? But he does make the game look boring at times. You compare him to like Rory,
Yeah,
and Rory makes the game very entertaining, but also incredibly frustrating at times because he's got so much talent, but
yeah,
he is that emotional golfer at the same
yeah.
time, which is what makes him Rory McIlroy. Like that is part of the sort of like mystique around him. But Scotty just plays the game completely differently, but it's clearly the most successful way of doing it, right? Like
100%.
week in, week out, especially.
You know what? The one thing I take from Scotty Scheffler is just how like in his own bubble he is.
Mm.
Like he doesn't, it almost looks like I feel like a lot of people get to that top level or they get there and they look like one thing goes wrong and they look like they're going to lose their mind. As in
Yeah,
like
yeah,
they just can't hold it together or they're really nervous. It looks like the guy just doesn't care.
yeah.
Like he just does, I mean, he looks like he's kind of, you know, like you say, you're in the Masters or you're doing really well or whatever it is. And I just look at the guy again. I'm absorbing what he's doing. I know
Mm.
I'm only watching it on TV or whatever it is, but I'm paying attention to what he's doing. I'm just there, like, and he looks like he's playing nine with the boys.
Yeah.
Like he knows he's good. He knows he's good.
Mm.
He'll never say that, but he knows he's good. All he does, he looks like he just does his same routine, hits the same golf shot, and
Mm.
literally, especially in the majors, obviously it's a lot more harder. A lot
Yeah.
harder for most. But exactly, that's the thing I noticed too. He always shoots, as I say, that one under, two under
Yeah.
round on the off day, another one under, two under round. And before you know it, there you go, Scotty Scheffler, 65. He's
Yeah.
now one back or one in front, and then he doesn't hang around. He goes and shoots another 65. He wins by five.
Yeah.
And it's like, but dude, you were four shots back not long ago. But he doesn't seem to care. He's like, my golf's going to come anyway. Just let it happen.
Yeah, and then
That's amazing.
if it doesn't come this week, I'm probably T5.
Yeah. That's one thing that I feel like Rory has really done well recently, in
Yeah.
more recent years. I feel like kind of around 2016, 2017, he was just like winning or like
Mm.
40th. He was like one or the other. Like,
Yeah.
And I feel like for even him, I've been watching him recently, and yes, he always was that showman. Like
Yeah,
he's up and down, good old Rory to watch. But
of course. Yeah,
I've noticed even on his off week, I know he didn't have the best weeks in the PGA, but Masters obviously what an amazing win. But
Phew.
if you look at him throughout the week, and you actually look at the stats that no one really pays attention to, i.e., race to Dubai or
Mm,
his wins or whatever. I mean, he's hardly ever outside the top 20 ever.
I know it's crazy. Isn't
And if he has an off week, he's like, eighth position, done a really good week, got loads of points. On to the next. Like it's nothing.
Yeah,
I mean, he's been on the tour for a long time. I understand
yeah.
that, but even he has had. He even looks up to Scotty because, like I say, he just doesn't look like he's bothered by it all.
He said, didn't he? He's like, I just need to be a little bit more like Scotty this year.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like he's doing it well because I've
Yeah.
noticed every time he's playing, it's not like miscut, win, second, and then 35th. It's like, for his level, and I mean,
Yeah,
he's elite in the game, don't get me wrong, but I notice he's hardly ever outside the top 15. If Rory's there, he's always somewhat up there.
yeah.
It's kind of like Fleetwood as well. You don't really hear about him winning it ever so much anymore. But if
He's
you
a
ever look at his track
top
record,
10
he's like
machine, isn't he?
top
Um,
10 every week, but
yeah.
he's never like really on the leaderboard where you can really see making a run, but
Hmm.
he's just there. He's just like, he shoots like a 69, a 71, a 68, and a 72, another 69. And there you go.
Yeah.
Nice little top eight. That'll do me, you know?
Yeah.
But he's just a
Some
good golfer.
someone that you just desperately want to see win, though, right? Because
Yeah.
he's such a clearly lovely bloke, and it's
Uh-huh.
just, and maybe that plays into the part that maybe he'll always be one of those guys that might not ever win because when it comes to that killer sort of instinct moment, but then when you see him at the Ryder Cup, he's clearly got it. So I think it's just the case, like you said, there are so many good players that can
Mhm.
all have an amazing week that it's just incredibly hard to win golf tournaments, isn't it, at the end of the
Yeah.
day.
I
You
feel
know?
like there's that top 10, 20 players in the world that you watch. We all watch. We're all fans of.
Yeah,
Um, that kind of really have it in them to
yeah,
really shine at the right time, and then the rest of them is kind of, it's a free for all. Just go and try and do your best that week. But
yeah.
a lot of the time, you speak to the players, and they're like, "Was I expect?" I mean, like, look at Victor Hovland.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
he
that was
was like,
ridiculous.
he was amazing. Like when he first came out and was playing the Ryder Cups, and he was
Yeah,
playing he was like, "Oh my God, like this guy is pretty good out of nowhere." I remember watching him play in that match. I think it was Oh my god, it was a what was it? US Open, no, US Amateur, US
hmm,
Amateur.
hmm,
I remember watching him do that, and then all of a sudden he was like the next thing for the 2 3 years, and then just fell off the radar. Had like 4 or 5 missed cuts in a row, and then he's like, try and go again, win. And it's
yeah.
like, how does that happen? Even he couldn't put it into words.
No.
But I think their thing is, as I say, just put the time into yourself, do the best you can, and as long as you can walk away from the week, good or bad, going, that's the best I could have done. There's not a lot else you can do, and otherwise, like I say, you're always going to be unhappy in the game.
Yeah.
You got to just
Uh,
try and take the positives out of things and move on with the negatives and try and better them. That's all you can do.
so I know you were saying you're quite present goal orientated. So you try and take obviously all the cliches, like we've said, they're cliches for a reason because they do work. So you take it week by week, round by round, hole by hole, shot by shot. But looking forward, obviously you're still is it you're 21 at the moment, Rohan. So you've got so much time ahead of you playing professional golf. What are your say 5 year goals? Maybe this year. Maybe let's go for this year's goal.
Uh,
And then moving forward, where do you want to get to in the game? I think I probably know the answer because you seem pretty driven.
yeah.
But what would be, first of all, this year's goal?
This year's goal for me would definitely to win on clutch. I mean, because it's my first year. I've given it a few good runs. I've had some good scores and stuff. But like I say, I'm looking for that week's worth of good play.
Yes.
My goal would to win in a clutch event, but also win, not really win the event, but win myself. So
Okay.
what I mean by that, obviously, yes, win the event. That's what I want to do, but I want to feel like I walk away from that going like, yeah, that's how I know to play. and it doesn't feel like extremely difficult without sounding arrogant. I'm not being
Mhm.
arrogant.
No, 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 I understand what
No,
you're saying.
like I say, playing that simple, basic golf wins tournaments.
Mhm.
But well, I don't want to feel like I'm like struggling on by the hang of a string. I'm somehow won.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not easy to win by any means, but if I can go out there, play 3 rounds of golf and play solidly, like Scotty Scheffler, very simple golf, and it comes out on top,
Mm.
I want to feel like, you know, win that event, do well, and just go, I feel like I've still got more in the tank.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
not the ego side saying that in a way of to keep my confidence high,
Yeah.
to feel like this is just the beginning. You know,
Almost like one with my B game, but not quite. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? That
not
sort of
not
idea.
quite. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
yeah, because I mean, like I say, everyone that wins, I mean,
You got to
I
play
don't think
well.
there's been one event so far that's under like 8 or 9 under par to win. So you
Sure.
got to be pretty good. But
Yeah.
if I can go out there and win an event this year would be my goal. And just have some good finishes as well. I want to do well.
Yeah.
That would be my 1 year goal. 5 year goal. So my only problem is I have, in a good way for my motivation wise, I'm quite impatient.
Hmm.
So I've got to keep that in the moment. I've got to keep that kind of level
Yeah.
headed.
So
But
Ryder
to
Cup in
me,
5 years. Yeah.
well, yeah, yeah, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? No, no. So, I mean, like, it's. I feel like no one's destiny's written; it's all worked for, you
Hmm.
know. So if you can shine at the right time and do well, like paths, all it takes is just a good run, and if you do it at the right time, then your life can really change in this
Yeah.
game. So, I mean, it's just if I can, the way I see it is my biggest. You can look at it so many different avenues. You can play in Asia, you can play in America, you can play in the UK,
Of
you can play in
course.
Challenge, DP World, PGA. I mean, you can play absolutely anywhere.
Mm.
Um, the only thing that I like to try and do there is if I'm going to let my performance take care of everything.
Yeah.
And I know that's quite a solid statement, but what I mean by that is if I do my best to try and do well, and in 5 years' time, I can go, do you know what? I've given that everything I've got. Let's see where I'm at, type thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Then we'll see. Because I'm not gonna like life happens, right? I'm not gonna be stood here in 10 years' time saying I'm still playing on clutch.
Yeah.
Because I mean, to me, I'm not dissing anything. I'm just saying that would be that would never be my goal.
Hmm.
And towards me, I'm trying to look at clutch as being as a stepping stone for me to do even better.
Yeah.
Um, Clutch has been an amazing tour. There's some amazing guys, which is great. But my 5 year goal obviously is to be on DP World Tour. Is to
Hmm.
try and do my best, get up there, get my card, stay on there, and just play. But like I said, I want my performance to take care of my passion, I guess you can say.
Yes. Yeah.
Just because like I say, you can look at it 100 different avenues. Everyone's story is different, but if I can go in, let's say in 5 years' time, wherever I'm at, if I'm still here currently, or if I'm way up there, which hopefully in the future I will be, then I want to look back and go, I gave it everything I've got, and I'm happy with where I'm at, and my performance will take care of the rest.
Yes. Yeah.
Because there is no right or wrong way. If you perform well, then something is going to happen for you. It's impossible to not.
100%.
If you're that good, there's no way you're going to be that good and get nothing.
Hmm.
So just do the best you can, and that's why I like to stay in the moment. But at the same time, I also do like to tempt my brain with a little bit of fuel
Of
of the
course.
the future. So who doesn't want that?
Yeah. You
So,
got to drive towards, like you said, even if that drive is to just reach what you deserve to achieve. That seems to be all you're striving for. If you can go out there and if you can say, look, I tried as hard as I possibly could,
mhm,
and I had moments where I played unbelievable golf and it all went well, and this is where I am now, and you could be happy within that moment, then that kind of shows that you've done what you set out to do. I had Martin Maritz on the podcast who played on the DP World Tour for 12 years.
mhm,
Um, and he said it was one of the most special experiences of his life playing on that tour.
yeah,
And he was from South Africa originally, grew up with Trevor Immelman, played like junior golf with Trevor and everything like that, and he just said the experiences he gained from traveling the world playing that tour were just unbelievable. You know, he never won an event. His famous line is that he gave Justin Rose his first win on tour.
Okay.
Because he was leading that tournament going into the last day by about 3 strokes, I think he said, and he just threw it away. He's like, "So you're welcome, Rosie."
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta take the positives out of everything, haven't you?
Exactly, exactly. So hey, look, I think at the end of the day, you can you can tell from some people they're driven towards a goal, and I think I can see from you the dedication. I mean, we're talking on a Sunday night, and you'd only just got back from practicing. Not everyone's doing that, and despite how much skill that they may have, not everyone has that sort of drive. So I think I can foresee some pretty incredible things coming, Rohan, and I hope they do.
Thank you,
Um,
and I appreciate that. We're all trying, and my dream is always to be on tour and playing, like your friend was saying too.
yeah,
Um, and in a stubborn but kind of nice way, is like the way I see it. I've got no choice. I'm gonna play good.
yeah, yeah,
I want that in me to kind of go. Well, I don't want to do anything else. This is what I want to do, and that's why I'm trying so hard. So,
yeah,
the way I see it is, if he can do it, then why can't I? You know,
yeah. You
I
obviously
have
got some
this.
good backing as well with some sponsors that are obviously helping along the way. Is there any of those that you particularly wanted to sort of shout out?
Yeah, so I mean, right now, like I said, I'm new to the professional side. Need a few more good finishes to kind of really get some help. But I've got this really nice brand, VXS, which is just a
Mm-hmm.
gym wear company. They've been really good to me. Got some really, really good stuff. So just gym wear apparel, which has been great. So unfortunately, I can't wear gym stuff when I'm playing golf. So I just said, hey, I'll just wear some hats. That'll be
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
And then, regarding Manning's Heath, they've obviously given me some shirts and stuff to wear attached with FootJoy, which is kind of, with their logo and stuff, which is nice
yeah.
to kind of be as part of the club, which is cool. But regarding things like sponsors right now, I'm still kind of, looking for that because right now I'm going off of my own back.
Yes.
It's pretty tough. Hopefully some stuff comes in soon
Yeah.
because, everyone, is everyone I've spoke to is really supportive, and that's great. But I think what most people don't seem to realize, unless you're in that kind of vicinity,
Mm.
um, is yeah, none of this is cheap, unfortunately. So
Well, so
uh,
entry every week is like around the £450 mark? Is that right?
yeah, so just a quick rundown. Basically, each event of tier one is £450.
Hmm.
Then obviously most of them are away. So then you have to, there's usually practice round, first round, second round, and then third round if you make the cut, and then the third round you come home, right?
Yeah.
UK based, I'm talking about. So it's usually 3 nights in a hotel. So you're looking at a couple £100 there. Obviously your food and your fuel, stuff like that. You're looking at about, if you really try and save as we all are, type
Mm.
thing, not try and, spend on 5-star hotels. I don't think
No.
anyone's really doing that at the minute, but yeah, you're looking at
Not
between
yet.
800.
Not yet.
No, not just yet. Yeah, yeah. But you're looking at about 800 to 1,000 per week. 800 if you get lucky, 1,000 if sometimes it is just a bit more.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, you add that up over, I mean, what, 20, 15 events in the UK, and then you've got what, 3 events before that, and obviously that's when you're trying to buy flights, so that's more like 1,500 an event. So you
Right.
add that up, it's not, you're probably looking at about 30,000, 40,000 a year, depending. Obviously, that's just events and tournaments. But obviously, then you've got to factor in your equipment, your clubs, your travel, your
Yeah, of course.
your events, your memberships, all those things that you need, even things like physio appointments. Just because you have to factor it all in. Because
Yeah.
if I didn't have a physio and I didn't have a coach, then I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's not just riding solo completely, unfortunately. But yeah, no, so they've been really good to me. It's nice to have a nice uniform and have a really good home club to go to.
Of course.
Regarding sponsorships and stuff, hopefully they come forward soon. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Have a really good partnership with a company and just kind of, or a person, and just move forward. It would be greatly appreciated. But hopefully that comes soon.
Well, just so listeners know as well, like like you said, that sort of breakdown to basically break even, you'd have to come sort of top 10,
Yeah,
right?
so
Most weeks.
yeah, so tier one, where are we?
I've
Tier
got
one. Oh, we're still there. Okay, perfect.
yeah. I've got top
Uh,
10 like sort of starts at about you're getting about £1,300 in prize money. So
yeah, so yeah, if you wanna break even as well as maybe have 100 or 200 quid to yourself, then yeah, top 10 is ideal. As long as you can make top 10, you're never gonna be, you know,
out of pocket
out
somewhere.
of pocket. Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's incredibly hard to do generally, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
every week in, week out to play that level of golf is difficult. So
Well, if you look at the scores the last few weeks, then you're probably looking, if you want to get top 10, they're anywhere between 6 under to 9 under each event.
right,
So if you have average that out, I mean, that's just simple math, right? Between 2 and 3 under per round, three times.
which
And
isn't
and the funny thing is, if the par's 72 and you shoot 2 to 3 under par, so say for example, you shot 3 under par every single round, scoring average 69.
yeah.
Scotty Scheffler's scoring average is like 68.8 or 69 exactly, and he's the best golfer in the world. So just to
Yeah,
put it into perspective of it's not easy.
it's not
So
easy, not easy.
yeah.
So like you said, if sponsor, I'm sure there's some people listen to the podcast that are in that sort of field as well. So anyone they can, if they can reach out to you, where can people find you, Rohan? Where can they find you?
Sure. So yeah, I have Rowan Miah Golf.
Hmm.
I have my social media page. I try and keep my up to date scores as well as practice regimes and stuff like that. I've got a lot of links in there regarding things like my brand here, Manning's Heath, kind of where I do my training and stuff. Kind of follow my journey too. I've also got a website as well, which kind of gives a breakdown of who I am, what I do, and
Hmm.
some services I offer people. Someone like yourself, if you'd like to come and play 9 holes or 18 holes around Manning's Heath, or even just play with a pro, have a day with me, as a client, and really kind of enjoy the day and start bettering your game. Obviously, I'm not a PGA pro or anything, so I'm not swim mechanic based, but
Yeah,
just playing the game and getting this kind of information whilst playing tailored to your game, I've got that too. So that's at rowanmiagolf.com. So everything is just Rohan Miah, which is obviously my name in golf, and you'll find me on either Instagram, Facebook, and then obviously .com being my website. So yeah,
perfect.
got an email there as well. So I mean, anyway, if people want to contact me for anything, then I'm more than happy to help them. And yeah, that's
That's
where you
it.
can find me.
I'll pop all of those in the show notes for this description so people can find you, can get in contact, and hopefully help out because yeah, I know as much as it's incredibly enjoyable, it can be a week to week grind on the tour at the end of the day, especially when you're funding it yourself. So any help can be
Oh, definitely, yeah.
massive.
Whether it's an event or a deal between somebody, it's just it's that support feeling. Like what, my golf is paying for. Someone is helping me to support my journey,
Yeah,
and that loyalty factor. If I ever do make it, or hopefully to myself when I do make it to that top level, then it's always that loyalty factor of going. You never forget your roots and who really helped you when you needed it most.
absolutely, Ron. Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry, I've been pronouncing it with a hard H as well this whole time.
All
I've
right,
been go I've
yeah,
been going Rohan. I think I said Maya as well at the start. So there you go.
yeah. Rowan, me, a lot of
Rowan Mia. There you
people
go.
You should have heard some of the Americans say it. Believe me, it was quite hard. So, yeah, it's okay. I know what you meant.
You know what I meant. I was
Yeah,
close. I was
yeah,
close, which is a small win in many
mate.
ways.
Yeah. I mean, not many rounds are spelled with H, at least in the UK. So,
No, that's right. Well,
hey,
hey, I'm gonna remember now. That's
no,
for
no,
sure.
you're all good, my friend. You're all good. But no, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much. It's been a really good session, and thanks for having me on. And best of luck to you and all your podcasts and stuff. And but yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's been really good.
Thank you, Rowan. Yeah, I'd love to catch up again in the future. I'm sure all the listeners now are going to keep an eye out for you as well on those leaderboards and be sending you some messages of support throughout the weekends as well. So, well, the weeks, 'cause
Yeah, during the
the
week for
weeks.
us.
Yeah.
I do appreciate it though. Thank you
No,
very
you're
much.
welcome.
And yeah, no, I do appreciate that a lot and look forward to chatting with you again.
Absolutely, Rowan. Thank you ever so much, mate.
Take care.